just wanted to do another old man of the sea story. This one will be about the types of ships that I've sailed on. When I was a kid, I used to was in the scouts. I was in a cub and then a scout down at Porchester, where we used to meet in Commander Cobham's house in Porchester, and we used to often take his boat, which he'd probably given to the scouts anyway. He'd take his boat down to the Porchester Castle and launch it there, and go out for a little row. Occasionally we had a little sail, and then when I was a little bit older, maybe 16, I got involved in the London Sailing Project, and I did some sailing on some of their boats, which was quite nice. I did enjoy sailing on big boats with a twin-masted ketch. That was quite exciting. But my commercial career started off on container ships, rather large container ships. My first one was an icebreaker that went out to Canada. I went out to Montreal. I remember seeing the Olympic thing in Montreal, the tower there, the skiing tower. That was a long time ago now. But yeah, that was my first trip. Was an ice-breaking container ship that went over to Canada. My second ship I sailed on was a gas tanker. We loaded ammonia gas and also propane and butane gas, which was all chilled to keep it at atmospheric pressure, but as a liquid form. Anyway, that was quite exciting. My second ship was another container ship. Sorry, my third ship was a container ship. Again, going over to Montreal and back to the UK. When I finished my cadetship, I actually started on an oil tanker. Was going between the United States of America through the Panama Canal down to Chile, and that was quite exciting, going down that way. And then that job kind of ended. We suddenly became foreign crew after that. It all became Indians, so all the British officers and crew that were on board that ship were all replaced with Indians and Filipinos, and that was a bit of a sad time. But yeah, I do remember that was when they did Band-Aid concert, because we managed to watch that on MTV on the television when we were within reach of the coast. Yeah, and then that's when I got employed by P&O Containers and was taken on with them. We then merged with a company called Ned Lloyd, so we became P&O Ned Lloyd. And after that, Maersk took over. Now, I didn't like Maersk. Maersk were absolutely terrible. I know it's not very popular, but we had Ukrainian crew. Now, these crew were not trained. They were not qualified. They had simply purchased their qualifications to get a job, and it showed. The level of workmanship from these people was absolutely appalling. But anyway, we're not going to linger on that. I then decided I was going to go elsewhere, and I got a job with a cruise line company. So I started working on cruise ships, and boy, was that a big mistake. I really hated that. Cruise ships are just one accident away from another complete disaster. And then when I left, after 6 months of working for them, I left and went for a job with on an accommodation barge. This accommodation barge was standing by the recovery of the Costa Concordia, the ship that turned over in the Mediterranean. It was just an accommodation barge that had four big winches in each corner. Each winch had two drums on it, so they could get a sidewards and a forward and aft pull. But it manoeuvred itself apparently. Although I never saw it move, so I tell a lie. We had a big tug that took us from the Mediterranean port round to Rotterdam at the end when the job was finished at the Costa Concordia site. But yeah, that was something else. Seeing a magnificent cruise ship on its side, it was broken. I can tell you now, looking down the length of this broken ship, you could see the ship moving. Its back had been broken, so that ship would never ever sail again. That's for sure. Anyway, so after I'd finished there, I went on to some other work. I've worked on tugboats, which was okay, but it was quite a lonely time because I was on my own most of the time. And I've worked on a fishing boat. I did one stint on a fishing boat, and a couple of stints on research vessels, and I've done a few. That's right. I did a couple of these dredgers where they sucked up the sand from the seabed. So that was different. And my last job that I had, apart from this research vessel that I'm on now, was on a dredger in the middle of Langston Harbour. That's where we were based. You probably remember it all from last year, me doing videos from Langston Harbour. So that's the type of ships that I've been on, and that is all considered merchant navy. A lot of people that I've spoken to over the years don't seem to understand what merchant navy is. It's merchant navy it's every other ship other than Royal Navy or the Navy. So any little tiny fishing boat, any tiny ferry that you see, any cargo ship, that's all merchant navy. It is a good job to do if you can get into it, but finding a job for British seafarers is pretty slim at the moment. We've got one of the lads on board ships looking for a job for his son, but he's finding it difficult to find placement within the UK. You know, you need to be trained to do the job, and you need to go to sea to be trained. So it's not just a matter of going to college; it's actually getting out to sea. But anyway, so that's the types of ships that I've been on, in for this part of the I don't know what you want to call it, but a series of old men at sea stories. But I think I've probably got one more in the pipeline. Anyway, so I'll catch you all on the next one.
These videos are so dreamy. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification bell.